In a world that celebrates freedom, freedom of speech, of thought, of identity, why do so many still feel trapped under the weight of beliefs they never chose? This isn't a war between believers and non-believers. It's not about hating religion. It's about asking what few dare to say out loud. Can you be truly free and truly faithful at the same time? Welcome to Axis Mind, where we challenge silence, explore complexity, and ask questions that make people uncomfortable for all the right reasons. Faith gives us meaning. It connects generations. It answers questions that science can't. But sometimes those answers come with conditions. Conditions like, you're accepted only if you fit the mold. You're loved only if you obey the rules. You belong only if you don't ask too many questions. A Christian baker refuses to make a wedding cake for a gay couple because of religious belief. They say it's about freedom of conscience. The couple says it's about their freedom to exist. And suddenly two versions of freedom are at war in the same courtroom. In that tension lies the truth. Faith can empower, or it can limit. It can be a safe space, or a cage. Religion gives rules. Pray this way, eat this, not that, cover this, say that. Some rules build discipline, some build dignity, but others begin to control. In certain U.S. schools, abstinence-only education replaces science-based lessons, not because it's effective, but because it aligns with religious morality. In conservative homes, girls are forbidden to dance, to wear jeans, to speak too boldly. Not because they're wrong, but because tradition says so. When behavior is policed in the name of purity, it raises a question. Are we protecting souls or suffocating them? A teenage girl asks, why would a loving God allow suffering? She's told, don't question God. A boy asks about evolution and is warned not to lose his faith. Another reads a book outside Scripture and is cast out for being corrupted. But is doubt really the enemy of belief, or is it its beginning? Galileo looked at the stars and questioned the heavens. Martin Luther challenged the church. Thousands of Americans today, ex-evangelicals, progressive Muslims, spiritual seekers, aren't walking away from faith. They're walking toward something honest. Because belief that can't survive your questions isn't belief. It's fear. And what about love? What about identity? If religion is built on love, why does it so often reject people for who they are? A gay teen comes out and is told he's an abomination. A trans woman walks into her church and is asked not to return. Pride flags are banned. Queer books are burned. And all of it justified with verses and doctrine. But not all faith communities agree. Across America, progressive churches and inclusive synagogues are rising, where same-sex couples are blessed, trans identities are honored, and the sacred is seen in everyone. Love was never the sin. Exclusion was. Now, zoom out. America was founded on religious freedom, and yet that freedom is often used to shape policy, education, healthcare, human rights, not all for the better. Roe v. Wade was overturned by people who claimed moral conviction, not medical expertise. In some states, evolution is removed from textbooks, and LGBTQ+ identity erased from classrooms. Not by data, but by dogma. When faith writes laws, those outside its boundaries don't just lose representation, they lose rights.
But the deepest question lies at the beginning of it all. Do we actually choose our faith or inherit it? From birth, we're named, dressed, blessed, and molded. Before we speak, we're told what to believe. Before we think, we're told what is sacred. So many people never ask, "Do I believe this?" They only ask, "What happens if I don't?" In America, more and more people are stepping back, rethinking, reimagining, even rebuilding their spiritual identity. Not because they hate what they came from, but because they finally have the freedom to ask what it means to believe at all. True faith isn't forced, it's found. And unless you're free to question, to doubt, to leave, or to return, you've never really had the choice. So maybe the real question isn't, does religion limit freedom? Maybe it's, can faith exist without fear? Can rules guide without controlling? Can belief grow without silencing? At Axis Mind, we don't reject faith. We protect the right to believe and the right to evolve. We speak for those still whispering their questions in the dark. We listen, we challenge, and we wonder out loud. If this made you think, even for a moment, like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon, because the mind isn't meant to obey blindly. It's meant to wonder, to grow, to ask what others won't. And here, at Axis Mind, we don't silence doubt. We begin